I know of a guy who slapped his co-star and his mum said, well, she was really annoying anyway. Have I been cheated on? Yes. Have I been lied to? Yes. It's really clear. But am I grown from it? 100%. It's a super general statement where you'll get into an argument with a boy. They'll assume, oh, do you have your period? No. You're just annoying me greatly. There are levels. So if I'm just doing, I don't appreciate that. I don't like what you're saying. I'm not screaming. Don't make me sound crazy. Don't make me feel crazy. Don't manipulate me into thinking that I'm doing something that's completely offending you and you're playing victim, so then I, once again, feel like I have to apologize.
Welcome to the Male Feminist, Anusha.
Hey, thank you so much.
But how was it growing up when you're moving so many cities and like, because we'd spoken to Ellie Avram and she's had a lot of international upbringing per se, to then compare it to Indian upbringing and be like, acha theek hai. There the chores are naturally being done by everybody.
Yeah.
Was that your household as well?
100%. Actually, I was the most. I was my mom's little helper.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, my mom was a working woman. 6 in the morning, she'd get up, she'd go to work, come home at 4, drop us to netball, dancing, gymnastics, swimming, pick us up, make our dinner, wash the clothes, hang them out, iron my dad's shirt, clean, cook, whatever. So she was Wonder Woman for 20 years of my life. I can't probably do 5% of what she did. I'm telling you, I bow down to that woman.
Moms everywhere, salam boss. But my question is slightly larger. Was the father contributing as much in the house?
Not at all. His day was wake up in the morning, his tea was made, and then he'd go to office, come home, in front of the TV, his dinner, everything is done. He'd go to bed. His life was pretty good.
The insight broadly with all of these questions that we often ask to say that I think our dads, if they're hoping, we are hoping they're listening to this, is to not just be contributory and then be wearing that badge on the shoulder saying, you know what, I contributed, applaud me. Rather see it as a chore that everybody does.
So my dad, you know, on weekends he'd feel like, oh, I'm going to make an omelette today. And then he'd want everyone to be like, wow, you made an omelette today.
Exactly.
The thing is, hasn't changed in the 20 years now that I've been here. You'll even see on Women's Day, all these girls and mothers and everybody get excited. Oh, the man is cooking for us today. And it's like we're congratulating him. But it's like, guys, no, we should kind of tell them to help us out every day.
On a regular basis.
Yeah. Like how we do it, they should do it. Just equality, half-half. But in saying that, now, I think we've really evolved. So if I really want to get deep and meaningful, if something has really bothered me, I can definitely pick up the phone and call my mum and dad, which I never had that equation. I don't think, and I'm saying this as a general statement, Indian kids know how to open up to their parents. It was never taught to us that, hey, I can just go and tell them how I feel. We don't humanize our parents. We keep them as gods. They have to be perfect. They can't make mistakes. If you make a mistake, why did you do that? I'm not going to forgive you. I hate you now. And then when they disappoint us, we don't realize that, you know, now we're reaching the age where they used to disappoint us and we're making mistakes still. So now I can look at it logically and be like,
okay if they made mistakes.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, wait, I'm that age now. They were messing up because they were still growing. They were people. Okay, they were going through it.
No, the beauty of this show is that my mom and I are both evolving while we are watching all of this.
Yeah.
कई बार ये भी होता है ना कि when a woman is just trying to put her point or being assertive or being in a debate with you, which can be healthy completely, a lot of men think that they're yelling or they're raising their voice.
I experienced this so many times.
Yeah.
So I have different deliveries. This is my normal, nice speaking voice.
When she says delivery, she's meaning vocal.
Vocal deliveries. When I'm getting passionate about a conversation, I'll be like, listen up, I don't think this is okay, and this to them, some, is screaming. I'm not okay with that. That's not cool. I don't like it. I don't appreciate it. You're screaming. No. When I talk like this, I'm screaming. That is raising my voice.
Yeah.
That's not even screaming yet, because when I'm screaming, I don't give it, that's screaming.
Yeah.
So there are levels. So if I'm just doing, I don't appreciate that. I don't like what you're saying. I'm not screaming. Don't make me sound crazy. Don't make me feel crazy. Don't manipulate me into thinking that I'm doing something that's completely offending you and you're playing victim, so then I, once again feel like I have to apologize. That's not okay, because I just told you women constantly feel like they have to apologize anyway. But just keep your ego intact for 1 second and realize, if I am expressing myself, it's just a point of view that I'm allowed to have after many centuries.
100%.
Let me have it, and I will also let you have yours. But I'm not going to come at you if you're getting passionate or trying to drive a point and tell you that you're crazy or you're screaming or you're whatever, because that's not cool. That's not cool. I'm allowing you to talk. Allow me also.
ये मेरी insight रही है कि कई बार क्या होता है, as men we're conditioned to not have a woman or another gender raise their voice back at us, but they're not probably raising their voice or their volume, they're just putting their point. And that doesn't mean that it is them screaming back at us, or us going towards the line of putting the B word to any other person who, you know, talks in that manner. वो मेरी conditioning थी जो मैं evolve हुआ हूँ recently. So I accept. I may have been that person who thought this, but today I know that, you know, किसी ने अपना तर्क रखना है, उनको तर्क रखने दो यार. But your relationships have been in conversation a lot. How are you dealing with that kind of pressure? There is, of course, I'm sure pressure, when not pressure, but like there's all kinds of run-ins that you'll have, good, happy, bad, sad ones with your partner. But then there is that run-in also that's happening, which is interesting, if you're okay talking about it.
You know, this is what this is what I always say. If I don't talk about it, it's a problem. If I do talk about it, it's a problem. If I give half information, it's a problem. I don't think I can win anyway. If I talk about it, I don't get over it. I'm looking for attention. If I don't talk about it, why are you being so secretive? Don't you stand up for women? Why can't you just tell the truth? Say your piece. Whoa, if I say half, why can't you just get straight to the point? If you're going to ask me something, ask yourself this first. Can you handle the truth? Because if you can, I'm okay to answer it. I have nothing to hide, and I have a bucket of receipts. I don't share those receipts because I'm choosing my battles. I don't need to give everybody receipts. It's my life. But if I'm putting a quote on Instagram because that's something that resonates with me, oh, move on, get over it. It's resonating with me. I didn't ask you to make it about him, that person, you. It's about me. So all my thing is if you're going to ask a question and I answer it, don't come at me.
Another good insight is, हमारे सबके relationships होते हैं, हम सबके breakups होते हैं. There are ways in which we react to it. Your lives are public, so your breakups are out there in the world to be judged and spoken about. जो दो लोगों के बीच में होता है वो दो लोगों के बीच में होता है. I don't think we have any idea of what could have happened. And if you all have moved on, then I think we should also move.
See, the move on statement is very, it's very convenient, right? No, nobody was in the relationships I've been in.
Exactly.
Right? But yes, I did make it public. So when I shared the part about the breakup, and I kind of said in a roundabout way what happened, nobody's satisfied. But again, if I tell you exactly what happened, you're going to hate it, because then you're going to say, oh, you're trying to put someone down, you're trying to ruin them, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that. If I don't say anything, I'm weak. What do you want? Do you want me to tell you, or you don't? I'm just going to say this. I think there are so many relationships that have been toxic, and I've experienced that. Have I been cheated on? Yes. Have I been lied to? Yes. It's really clear. Was it consistent throughout the entire relationship? Yes. But am I grown from it? 100%. Do I now know what I don't want? Yes. Yes. Am I thankful for the experience? Now I am, yes. Because I realized I was in a pattern, right? I was this independent woman who didn't know how to be brave for herself in a relationship, right?
But now you are.
And now I am. So, you know, whatever. Everyone teaches and experiences and goes through it. It's not, I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim. I am a human being who's gone through a human experience.
Do you think like a toxic relationship can deter your mind from thinking about settling down with somebody?
I think toxic relationships, more than anything, mentally can be really depleting. You know, you can lose a lot of self-esteem, self-confidence, which is very hard for me to lose. To build that back up, I would always suggest don't get into another relationship, because that's what I used to do. Okay. I would go into another relationship and then the whole pattern would repeat itself because I didn't grow and I didn't learn. Now I've learned to also say, no, you know what, I don't want to do that. And I'm not going to buy that. I'm learning because I love to spoil and give and this, and then I lose myself. And you know, that one part of me, this independent working woman, and then here I am like, ooh, yeah, let me just do all this for you. So now I'm balanced.
Whenever we hear stories of people who've moved, we hear of bullying stories because, you know, that's unfair. If you are okay talking about anything at all.
When I was coming to India, I was like, oh wow, I don't have to explain anything here. You know, why do we wear a dot on our head? Why do we, with our hand, why do we do this, that? This is the best. But then I realized we have way more discrimination against each other. And that was super confusing to me. And then when I went back to Australia, there was one incident that really shook me because I'd lived here now for 3 years. Went back to.
Can you give me the timeline? What year?
So it was, I came here at 2002, so 2005, I must have gone back, 2005, 6. I went back and I was earning, I was on MTV, you know, I had money to spend. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna go shopping in the place I grew up, and I was going with my best friend and we were in the city. And I've actually never shared this story, I don't think, on camera, but I was in the store, I really liked these sunglasses that were in a picture.
Okay.
And I was asking the guy, oh my God, could I see those please? All my manners intact. And he was serving somebody else and he's like, wait a minute. It was a bit rude, but I was like, okay, fine, whatever. And I was a little bit of a bubbly in my own
high energy person. Yeah, okay.
And so me and my friends are my girlfriend and I looking at sunglasses, and then he started helping her. So she was like, oh yeah,
can I have
this? Yeah. And then, you know, she was trying on the glasses. She's Greek, but you know, she looked obviously much fairer in color than I did. And she was trying on the glasses, so now he'd helped her, and I said, excuse me, could I see those again? And he's like, ugh, opens the drawer, and he's like, where are you from? And my friend's like, oh, she's from India. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, well then I shouldn't show you these because you probably can't afford them.
To your face?
Yeah. And I think that moment, because I've lived in Australia all my life and I've never heard something like that, it shattered me. I was like, why would you say that? First of all, I was actually earning really well for myself.
Did you buy them? You should have.
No, you know what? I actually stood there. I was in a state of shock. Of course. And my friend was trying on the glasses and I said, put the glasses down. And she's like, no, but do you? And I said, put the glasses down. And he started laughing. And I said, Rhonda, that was my friend's name. And I said, let's go. And then we walked out. And she said, what happened? And I told her, and she's like, oh no, we're going back in there. So we marched in, and she says, who's the manager? And he said, I am. Battle lost. So we left. It was really heartbreaking.
Also, another thing that we've started to talk about lately on the Male Feminist is financial literacy and how you must have gotten independent financially.
I've been doing it since I was young. I started working at 15. I haven't asked my parents for a rupee since then. And I think that's why, like, if I ever get into a relationship, it's got to add to my life. I don't need anything. I'm not looking for somebody to save me. I'm looking for somebody to add something, because I want to be a provider as well. And I also think that it shouldn't just fall on one person. I mean, look, there are a lot of people that say, no, but it's our choice. We want our wife to not work. You know, I'm okay if my husband doesn't work. And I respect that. But I think giving that option of both of you working and not putting so much pressure on one, that's so nice to come home and say, hey, look, we're doing this together.
Correct.
You know, and you don't have to come home stressed in case you lose your job. I got you.
Was the pay parity existing in the anchor world as well?
Of course. My co-host doing the same job, the same hours, the same amount of clothes, styling changes, everything was getting paid double than me.
But even anchoring had both genders in equal, right?
Yeah, I mean, but no, it was like, we're doing the same job, and then when you'd see the footage, you'd keep more of his role in it than mine. Then when I put my foot down and said, hey, listen, if I'm the co-host, then keep us equal in the camera. And when they did, he stormed off. And I was like, it just got fair airtime. I didn't storm off in the first 3 seasons, you know, what the hell? So
Ouch.
it's wild.
You drive, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, like,
Love it.
there is that bad stereotype about
Women
women
can't drive?
drivers. Yeah.
And I think the stereotype comes from the fact that, again, they didn't start at the same time. It's the confidence that we weren't given because it was a manly thing to do. So when it becomes in terms of, oh, it's a male thing, that's when we're like, oh, it's not your place to drive. Oh, but we're doing it anyway. Okay. So in Australia, I didn't have that emotion, which is why I got in the car and I was like, let's go. But then guess what? I'll use the term like I drive like a man. Why is that a compliment?
Yeah. Or why is that the standard?
Yeah. So I think just driving great and safe is really what we should all aim at. And let's not gender it.
So there are these standard male feminist questions that we ask. How can men be better allies?
How can we both be better allies is really the question.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, because I said I don't want to be ahead and I don't want anyone to have a head start. I want an equal start. So how can we be better allies and bring the start line together? That's the question we should ask. Because I think what happens is we're saying, well, they should do this, 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 and the guys are saying they should do this, this, this. A lot of hurtful things get said in that jumble. Nobody understands it. Great. Let's unlearn it and start again.
What should men then stop telling women? I think that's the next question that we have.
That they're better, that they have the right to so many more things, that they're never wrong, that they deserve a head start. I don't know. If that's what they're telling themselves, they shouldn't. And women should stop telling themselves that they deserve less, that they don't deserve the equal start, that they are a lesser being. I don't know. Please understand that I am making a very general statement of the experience of sexism. I'm not to say that there aren't great men and women out there who don't think like that. You know, I have seen beautiful men say that everybody deserves a shot, and women. But if you are telling yourselves that narrative that I just told you now, stop. Because we won't get anywhere separating ourselves so much. What we were trained and taught, unlearn it. Let's start again. I mean, why would you have a show called Male Feminist in today's day and age? Because it's called Evolved.
That's what we wanted to do, try and normalize it. And this was the Male Feminist. Do not forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to Hauterrfly.
Yes. Like, share, subscribe to Hauterrfly.